When Zoe Alexander received 4 no's from the X Factor judges, her entire life fell apart over a 10-year period, and the whole thing was documented on camera from 100 different angles. It all began with this email right here, in which Zoe first reached out to the X Factor requesting to appear on the show, explaining that she was a 22-year-old Pink impersonator but wanted to audition as herself. After being accepted as a contestant, Zoe was asked to send through 5 songs she wanted to sing, yet the X Factor then specifically demanded that Zoe audition as Pink.
They wanted me to sing a Pink song. He basically said that if I didn't, I wouldn't be going on the show. So I agreed.
After agreeing to do so, Zoe was invited in for an interview where they continued to ask her about Pink.
All he wanted to talk about was Pink. Have you seen Pink live? Do you know Pink's real name? Do you think you're like Pink in real life?
With Zoe,
okay, so she brought up content, right? And it wasn't good enough on its own, that they had their own idea for what they want to deliver for content, right? And then she agreed to it, and then she seemed surprised by it. I mean, chat, it's just the way that the storytelling is done here by her makes it feel like
he is doing
she
it.
was kind of yoinked or like they didn't do it right. But I mean,
he is reacting.
She accepted it, no? Because I understand. I get it. Yeah, that she had her own thing, and what happened on screen wasn't what she wanted, but she could have said no.
Adding that they had no interest in her personally, showing that the X Factor had an ulterior motive to create a story out of her being Pink. Before heading out on stage, one of the X Factor producers then encouraged Zoe to give an overly emotional performance.
And he said, make sure you use all of the stage. If the judges say no, beg them, cry, get down on your knees and beg.
So when she'd appear in front of the judges just a few minutes later, this is what went down.
I'm gonna sing So What by Pink.
Pink, okay. Off you go.
After stating that she was gonna sing So What by Pink, Zoe gave a boisterous emotional performance, using the whole stage with excessive facial expressions. However, the focus on her physical delivery and a few other things which we'll talk about later meant the singing was fairly average, leading the judges to stop her mid-song before stating this.
I honestly think that you need to go away and take the time to find yourself as an artist.
Despite this, the judges were kind enough to give her a second chance.
Should we get a second song?
Yeah.
I want to give you a chance.
Yet she was then stopped midway through her second song before the judges once again implied that they didn't think she was good enough.
Because at the moment it just sounds like every other average sort of singing voice.
But as the judges explained that she wouldn't be—
Chad, this is kind of like a Joker moment, you know? It's pretty much the same thing. They invite her on the show to make fun of her, right? And she doesn't really know or kind of knows, and then they kind of crush her. The whole setup is that
going to the next round, Zoe turned the criticism back onto them.
You told me to sing a Pink song. I didn't want to sing a Pink song. You guys told me to sing a Pink song.
Zoe then proceeded to lose her temper before bringing her dad onto the stage, swearing at the judges and throwing the microphone toward them. After some more chaos then went down backstage, Zoe lashed out at the cameraman ending the segment. However, in terms of negative feedback, this was really only the start. The family was so distraught from the event that they drove home in silence, yet Zoe seemed convinced that they wouldn't include her performance in the final cut of the show.
I still didn't believe that they would show my audition on TV. I mean, how could they show the systematic bullying leading to a breakdown of a woman? It would be too upsetting.
Until about an hour after.
Oh man, somebody needs to fucking sit down and watch the Maury or Jerry Springer or any show in America or Dr. Phil. Wait, not only will they do that, that's the whole point of it. Huh? Wait, I'm confused. She's confused about this? Like, they wouldn't do that? Well, no, that's the whole point of it.
Arriving home when a Daily Mail reporter who was at the audition called the family to get a statement for an article and to tell Zoe that she was definitely going to appear on television.
They will edit it in any way they can to show it on TV because it is TV gold.
With this information, Zoe's mental health began to decline rapidly.
I couldn't sleep. I just stayed up every night. I can't stress to you enough what an emotional wreck I was. I didn't trust anyone and I just kept breaking down, crying.
Made even worse by the countless articles talking about the situation before the episode had even gone live. Then, after 6 weeks of fear, Zoe's phone began to ring.
I got a phone call from the X Factor informing me that they were going to air my audition. I was honestly so terrified. I just said no and put the phone down.
Within hours of the episode going live, the performance was being called the most shocking audition ever, while other publications such as The Mirror called her X Factor's most shocking contestant ever. As a result of this, Zoe stated, "I was recognized everywhere I..."
Chat, I'm gonna be super rude with this one, okay, chat? I'm thinking, chat, this might sound a little bit unhinged. I think the way she reacted with like the breaking things and the breakdown and the camera, at the time, she was trying to pull a stunt. It looks like it, because it looks a little scripted the way she does it, and she knows what she's doing. Because she was actually upset. It feels like she'd probably just walk off the show and get the fuck out, except she's giving them content voluntarily. That's what it seems like to me. I'm sorry. My content brain is tingling, and it feels pretty forced to be captured.
Went, laughed at, pointed at, threatened. Both myself and my dad have been threatened with violence to the point that my dad had to physically defend us.
I'd go to the gym and people would watch the video on their phones in front of me and then whisper and laugh.
Despite this, Judge Tulsi Konstastavlos refused to change her attitude on the situation, stating there is always going to be the odd person who throws a massive hissy fit. Thousands of people over the years have auditioned, and this one person couldn't control their temper and threw a fit. But I don't think that's a reason for everyone to go, you've got to think about their emotions. That was one person. Those are her issues, and she chose to bring those issues to the stage.
Okay, whoa. Okay, even though the show is kind of still, there's still somewhat a little bit in the rights, right? The explanation given is pretty bad PR. It's bad.
Givenchy now had no other option.
Because they angle everything a certain way, and they're like, well, if it goes that way, like, dude, it's their fault. Like, what are they doing? Well, dude, you angled it that way forcibly. You can predict that it's gonna go like that. You can do because you're the one who set up like that. So
Zoe began to defend herself by stating that the show deliberately tried to make me out to be this girl with a bad attitude, before she theorized that the X Factor deliberately encouraging her to sing a Pink song was part of a plan to increase ratings through televising a poor performance, which would explain why the producers encouraged her to be emotional in the minutes before the audition. Zoe Alexander was set up for a fall, and yes, she couldn't sing, but that isn't the issue under discussion. Setting people up to mockery by deliberately enhancing their self-image beyond their talents is cruelty bordering on human rights infringement. Zoe's volatile
Whoa. Okay, wait a minute. This guy's off the fucking rockers. This guy's off the rockers. Because it seemed like to me like that's what they wanted to portray. And if she didn't want to portray that, she could have said no. Because I think, was that not in the contract that this was gonna happen like that? And if you just don't want to play the part, that's it? At that point, Chad, where you're almost thinking about you're gonna play a role. Literally. When the script is this deep, you're literally being given almost a script on how things are going to go, and you're asking to be a certain thing. If you want to do that, well, you don't do that, right? This is how it's presented to me with this video.
Nature would have been spotted in one of the earlier auditions, and then stoked up so she would outburst on TV, and thereby encourage a flagging audience to tune in with the expectation of future Jerry Springer moments. Shameful, just shameful, yet others were a little less compassionate. Look, she may have been set up by producers, which isn't fair, but at the end of the day, she can't sing. The judges were just being polite by using the identity thing as an excuse because she did get to sing a second song, which she was also rubbish at. Her violent/physical outburst was wrong, full stop. Yes, it's unfair for producers to mislead her, but her reaction was atrocious and very bratty. Also, her dad shouldn't have brought her back onto the stage either, as this escalated the whole situation.
It's all for content,
she got to sing 2 songs, whereas
guys, if her dad brought her back then to do all this, chat, there's something they're not telling about this. There's a missing part that's not being publicized or something like that. This seems like really fucking forced.
Most people get to sing one, and she wasn't good enough end of. Yet Zoe didn't stop pushing back against what had happened. Approximately 7 months after the audition went live, an article was published by BBC News titled X Factor Cleared Over Pink Tribute Act Complaints, in which it was explained that Zoe had gone to the government broadcasting agency Ofcom, claiming that the X Factor had ignored her track choices, changed her song list, and dictated her outfit and hairstyle, insisting on her appearing in her pink persona. Yet the agency found that the judges' comments were balanced, and her violent reaction after the audition was unacceptable by any standards, whatever her perceived grievance. Accordingly, Ofcom has not upheld Miss Alexander's complaint, with articles such as this one perpetuating Zoe's nightmare.
People said to me, oh, don't worry, it'll blow over, it won't last forever.
Yeah,
and it lasted for years and years and years.
Things became even worse when Zoe's performance racked up almost 100
Oh my, 88 mil! Holy
million
dude,
views in
that's
compilations such as these
insane.
two. However, with comments such as "I don't trust any of these" after hearing Zoe Alexander's story, it seemed there was more that was yet to be discussed. On the 20th of July 2020, Zoe uploaded her own video titled Zoe Alexander X Factor The Truth, in which she now revealed that the performance itself had been edited and even CGI'd to make the X Factor look good and Zoe look bad. She stated the judges actually began the audition by essentially insulting her.
And he moved on to tell me that I was very overconfident, which wasn't shown on TV.
And after she started singing, the audience went crazy by cheering. However, in the final cut of the show, this had been reversed, so the audience was instead cheering while the judges gave their opinions.
In the broadcast footage, the audience reaction has been completely changed.
Guys, is the audience under NDA or under some contract? I feel like the audience could, anybody could come forward and say, hey, you know what, dude, like, it did happen like that, whatever.
The audience could be heard clapping and cheering her words, as if she was voicing the opinion of the entire audience. In fact, the audience at that moment sat in silence.
As a person who was in the audience, we were told to keep quiet when the judges say anything, so yeah, you're definitely telling the truth. Zoe went on to explain that the music...
Wait. We were told to keep quiet when the judges say anything. Too broad. Chat, this is a little bit too broad. That doesn't really prove anything. That just seems like this is made to capture what
he is doing it.
What? Okay, you guys say question mark. This makes sense because if there's a moment and there's a good moment or good commentary by the judges, right?
He is reacting.
And there's somebody that yells in the back or says something, the whole segment is completely ruined. It's completely ruined. So this makes sense as a broad rule, unless it's done deliberately and targeted against this particular event or person, which seems like it's not. Like, this is fine. This
when
is
the
fine.
judges say anything, so yeah, you're definitely telling the truth. Zoe went on to explain that the music they played was also different to what she'd sent through.
Guys, imagine chat, imagine that Simon's about to say something really funny or good, or is in a skit, is in a good mood, or, and he goes, you know what, like, and some guy goes, let's go, Simon, you got this, brother! Yo, what the fuck? Now the whole thing is completely cooked.
That they played was not the track that I had sent him. It was in a different key and it was a different track.
And when she'd thrown the microphone, she'd done so because they'd turned it off while she was explaining what had happened.
Then I realised that they'd turned the microphone off, and that was when I threw it to the floor. But somehow in the video I threw it like that. I didn't. I threw it to the floor.
Zoe then debunked the segment where she'd seemingly walked off and come back with her dad.
I categorically did not...
Wait.
And it was a different track.
And when she'd thrown the microphone, she'd done so because they'd turned it off while she was explaining what had happened.
Then I realised that they'd turned the microphone off, and that was when I threw it to the floor. But somehow in the video I threw it like that. I didn't. I threw it to the floor.
Zoe.
No shot. Sorry. No, I'm good. Maybe the camera angle, she means that the microphone flew to the ground because there wasn't enough force with it. But the actual hand motion, no, that's CGI, sorry.
We then debunked the segment where she'd seemingly walked off and come back with her
Fuck
dad.
no.
I categorically did not leave the stage and subsequently...
And if she did do that, where's the microphone at? Hold up. Sorry to pausing so much.
Where she'd seemingly walked off and come back with her dad.
Where's the mic then?
I categorically did not leave the stage and subsequently return hand in hand with my father. Once again, the footage has been completely fabricated. Another example of the
I clearly did not leave the stage and subsequently return hand in hand with my father. Once again, footage has been completely fabricated.
Factor's over-imaginative editing.
Before she added that even the judges' comments had been inserted at a later date.
Also, Nicole did not stand up and say, no, baby, no. That did not happen. So they were cut in afterwards to produce the footage in their fictitious storyline.
After heading backstage, another scene was filmed in which Zoe begged the cameraman to stop filming. However, this also didn't make the cut.
I was saying, please stop filming me, please stop filming me.
This scene was cut from the broadcast footage and replaced with even more fabricated footage, which better suited their storyline, as it didn't portray me as aggressive. The real footage would have clearly demonstrated the broken and emotional state into which I had been bullied.
And with this information, everybody began to stand up for her. I admit I was one of the many who laughed and thought you...
Yo. What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Wait. Guys, I don't really know what's happening. I feel like the person is lying.
with this crazy lady who was just mad that you lost the audition. I'm so sorry, they're so horrible for doing you like this, with others informing Zoe that her video had blown up outside of YouTube. Over on TikTok, a relatively small account made a 15 million view video talking about what had happened, which when duetted by Zoe, gained a further 27 million views, with almost everybody sticking up for Zoe. As a result, Nicole Scherzinger's comment section began to fill with comments regarding Zoe's treatment, and therefore the judge did this.
Can we just talk about the fact that Nicole Scherzinger has blocked me on TikTok?
Despite this, the mainstream media ran with the story, causing the X Factor to backpedal rapidly.
You have made the X Factor turn off their Instagram comments. You have made the X Factor turn off their YouTube comments. And you have made the X Factor change the title and description of my X Factor audition video,
with a 19 million view audition video having since been removed altogether. On top of this, Zoe's appearance has also been taken out of the mega viral top 5 angriest contestants video, which when considering Zoe's poor attitude and the show's sketchy editing, feels like a reasonable middle ground between the two parties.
Most celebrities.
Chat, guys, this is fucking tough. I would have to look, chat, guys, we would have to do like massive investigation.
I'm like 2-3 months late on this.
Chat, I'm gonna give it a buck. Dude, you would have to really look at. I kind of want to do it, to be honest.
Because I haven't been.
Sounds kind of crazy though.
The last couple of months, but this popped up on my For You page.
It's the story of Zoe Alexander, the aggressive pink impersonator from the X Factor.
Now, comparing her story to the audition clip on X Factor, there were some parts of her story that didn't match up, such as her father walking on stage alone and Ollie the runner protecting someone who wasn't there. And sadly, because of this, some people don't believe her. I have editing skills and I'm going to do some detective work. This guy on YouTube broke down the editing of when she threw the mic. I don't think anyone's shown how the X Factor edited in these parts. So Zoe said that her father walked onto the stage alone. Here's her walking out of stage, and it shows her father walks in. It seems like they're walking back out to the stage together. Wait for it. Look. She's smiling. This is obviously a clip from like elsewhere. And don't tell me it's from the lighting. Her face looks happy here. In this part of the clip, his finger, just look at how much she's moving, how much she's blurred. Whereas his finger looks so sharp. And
so you're telling me that this person talking right now, says that she's an editor or knows about editing, yet does she know about bitrate and shit like that? It seems, wait, brother. The guy is static. There's a lot of unpredictable moving parts with a lot of colors and shit. It will look blurry. It just will. Bitrate doesn't work only on one person. The guy is not moving. How much she's moving, how much she's blurred. Whereas his finger looks so sharp. And look at the way the arm just pops out. It looks really unnatural to me. True. Okay, true. I'll agree to the jacket actually. The jacket, maybe.
True to me. On here, you can see the masking. I think he looks way too close to her, and the lighting just doesn't look right. Also, her hair somehow grew through his ears. Okay, watch how she walks past him. Doesn't her hair look suspiciously sharp here? Okay, what's that? I don't see that anywhere else on stage, and that looks like his shoe. You guys see that white line around her legs? That's where they cut out her body to paste her into this clip. You telling me that's natural? Also, from the speed that they both walk out at, you can see that she's coming out. He's there on the side. She's coming out, pushes the camera.
Her neck did look weird though.
When it kind of pans back there, you don't see him. He's not there. At that point, you should have been able to see him come off stage. So apparently in this clip, Zoe said that this guy was never here and Ollie was protecting no one. You can see that this white blur here is a result from the editing. Watch this guy's hand holding the Evian bottle. Specifically, look at his knuckles. Did you catch that? His hand wasn't even moving that much for it to blur that much. So yeah, in conclusion, I don't think Zoe fabricated any parts of her story. It's just disgusting how TV talent shows like X Factor go through the...
I don't really fucking get it. I think she's just flat out wrong.
Yo, this is X on the beat, yo. Okay.
Wait, my voice as well.
That ass. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy.